Well, we've got the spinnaker up and we're sailing south down Georgia Strait. And today's kind of one of those weird days, you know, emotionally. We're going home. We're going to spend the next 3 weeks on the hard, painting the hull a lighter blue and doing a few other jobs. The other big job is we're going to change our Lexan windows to tempered glass. And then we're leaving. This trip down Georgia Strait's been a little bit like a trip down memory lane, stopping at some favorite places, hanging out in Desolation Sound with our son and friends. Hanging out at Tribune Bay for 4 nights was amazing. And we just passed Smuggler's Cove, and these are all favorite places, and we don't know when we'll be back again. So yeah, it's kind of an excitement because we're leaving, and also a little bit, yeah, who knows when we'll be back, but it'll still be here when we come back, so one day. Well, we're back home. So we're here for 3 weeks, we hope 3 weeks, and we're going to haul the boat, paint the bottom, put a new propeller on, paint the top sides, put some glass windows in where the plastic ports are, and a bunch of other jobs. It's a huge list, but most of the jobs are small, so hopefully it won't be a major panic. But haulouts generally end up always being a major panic. So we're not really looking forward to the next 3 weeks, but it's stuff that's going to make our next year much more enjoyable.
Day 1, we got up reasonably early to drive down to the marina and watch the boat get lifted, power washed, and blocked up on stands. Then we began. The plan was to spend a week prepping the boat for paint, cleaning, sanding, filling, sanding, and cleaning. Lots of sanding and cleaning. It's said that the secret to a good paint job is good prep. The paint we're covering is shiny, hard, and covered in residue from years of service. Step 1 is to remove this residue, wax, oil, and dirt, with a solvent wash. If you sand before doing a solvent wash, anything that's on the surface of the paint will end up in the scratches sanding leaves, and the new paint will fail. Sanding also helps the new paint stick to the old by increasing the surface area the new paint has to stick to. We sanded the hull with 240 grit paper on random orbital sanders to prep it for the primer.
This is a bigger job than I thought it would be. That's usually how stuff in the boatyard goes. This dark blue transom gets really hot in the sun, and little voids in the fiberglass layup left air pockets that expanded and cracked the laminate, sometimes quite deep. This big patch in the bottom had quite a network of cracks, and I probably ground half the thickness of the transom out, which means I had to lay it up with a structural schedule that would replace the strength that I'd ground out. But it's better than it was before because, of course, fiberglass laminate with cracks in it doesn't have any real structural integrity, and now it does. But it's proving to be a pretty big job.
Just testing to make sure that everything's working properly with our new propeller as we're installing it. At every stage it says to make sure that the blades are moving smoothly, which they are. It's very shiny and seems pretty skookum. I'm hoping it's going to really work well.
It's day 6 on the hard in beautiful Port Moody, BC. And we've got the hull all prepped to paint. Unfortunately, we don't have any paint. I ordered paint, a lighter blue than what we currently have. I ordered it in April and was told that it would be here, no problem. And it's not here.
We started prepping for this haulout by ordering things that we knew we'd need well before we left for Alaska. In spite of that, supplier issues were a huge stressor. In addition to the trouble getting our paint, there were issues with our tempered glass windows. The edges of the units we received were not fully ground, a manufacturing defect that could result in their explosive failure at any time. It took a while to sort these issues out, but in the end both suppliers went the extra mile and were able to meet our needs in time to meet our schedule. A job like this is huge. Corey and I figure we each put in over 220 hours in the 21 days that we were on the hard. We were very lucky to have help. Rob, who will join us on our sail to San Francisco, and Ian, who we think was bored even though he claimed otherwise, both spent multiple days doing ugly jobs, pitching in to make sure our haulout was as short as possible.
Yesterday was brutal. 2 days ago we applied 3 coats of primer, and yesterday we sanded for 11 hours, get ready for the top coat. And this is the first color of top coat. color is called Fisherman's Blue and the product is Alex Seal. And this is the third two-part polyurethane paint that I've applied to something, and I gotta say this product is awesome. It rolls on really, really well, and the first guy looked at it asked us if it was sprayed, which was quite a compliment.
Footsteps lead us on. Running in the dark and still we carry on. Running in the dark, we never find a dawn.
Well, it's the end of day 10 purgatory on the hard here, and we just put the second coat of topside paint on, and I'm blown away with how good it looks. It's Friday the 19th and I haven't shot any video for a while because we've just been too busy getting stuff done. Today was a good day. We got some bottom paint on and we got the lazarette all put back together and all the fittings back on the transom. If we had to, we could launch tomorrow, but we got another can of paint to go on, plus a ton of small jobs that need to get finished before we put the boat in the water in 3 days. It's day 18 on the hard and we're getting down to the bitter end. It's a Sunday and we're launching on Tuesday afternoon, the last splash of the day at 3:30 in the afternoon. But we got so much work to do. The house is a mess. The boat's a lot cleaner than it was this time yesterday, but it's still got stuff everywhere. And there's a few odd jobs left to do. So today's kind of a crush day so that we can have a couple days latitudes to get the house cleaned up, deal with things like vehicle insurance, getting the house ready to leave. And food, yeah, we got to stock the boat up. So there's two big changes we made to the boat that I wanted to see. First one's the prop, and I think we win there. It's quieter, it's faster, it's fantastic, less vibration. The only thing that I'm a little worried about is that we are close to full RPM, but not quite 100% full RPM, and that means that we might be overworking the engine. And so maybe when we haul the boat next time, I'll take it off and send it back to flexofold and have them take a little bit of power out of it. And the other question I had was the water line, and the reason it's a question is because I moved it up at the aft end of the boat only. So the bow, it's in the same spot, but the middle and the aft, it's a little bit higher, and I think I nailed that also. It looks just about perfect.